I want to talk about the 3 contributions. The first one was gold, jewelry. Second one was oil, gold liquid. And the third one was silver, the shekel. And each one of them relates to something that you contribute, something that you offer up. Now the first one, silver, has to do with the outer court. The second one, oil, relates to the holy place and the menorah. The third one, gold, relates to the Holy of Holies and the Ark of the Covenant. Now the first one, which you offer up, that's also connected to the burnt offering. Remember, we had 2 offerings at the foot of the mountain, the altar of clay and the altar of stone, the 2 symbols. And the clay, or the ground, the altar of ground, relates to the body, Adam, Adamah, Dam, blood. It all relates to who you are, the flesh, the soul, and how we are put together. And that is to elevate that to Yahweh as a living sacrifice, so you can understand it, and also in order to strip you and cleanse you, to get a new body. Now the new heavens, new earth is cleansed by fire, and your body, to create a new body, is to be cleansed by fire, which is the olah offering, the burnt offering. The second offering that was made on the mount, the foot of the mountain, was the peace offering, the Shaleem offering, which is to do with meal offering, that brings peace. That's done at the table of showbread, and that is in the holy place, and that is the second offering. So those are the 2 areas we have access to. The first one is the outer court, the second one is the holy place. The first one is the outer court as a bondservant. The second one, the holy place, is as a priest, a part of the kingdom of priests, where we can enter into the presence of Yahweh, which is symbolized by the menorah, the foundation of fire, which is the essence of Yahweh, which is symbolized by the flame, which is produced by the oil, and the oil is what we provide to the menorah that keep the light shining within our midst, which is an assembly or a congregation. So we dealt with all of that. The third offering, or the third contribution, is gold. That's deity, that's royalty. That is the next level, the next stage, where you will enter into the Holy of Holies. And that Holy of Holies is depicted by the city, the New Jerusalem coming down, which is a cube, which is the same dimensions as the Holy of Holies. Every dimension, the breadth, the width, and height are of the same, and it represents the new tabernacle, and also the dwelling place of Yahweh, which is the city and the temple all in one. And within the wording within Revelation, it talks about the city as her, or Jerusalem, which is the bride. In the previous Torah story, we discovered that the advanced state of the bride is for her to get the name Jerusalem, and that's the final stage, and that's entering the Holy of Holies. That final contribution to get the deity, the royalty, elevation through the marriage covenant, through the work of Mashiach, and the connection, which is His Spirit, and Mashiach connects you and make you echad with Yahweh, and that's a symbolism of the third contribution. So we had a stage approach, and even in the beginning, as we see through the tabernacle pattern, what the stages are for us. So first we start as slaves in Egypt, then we become slaves or bond servants of Yahweh in the outer court, then we become the priesthood, which are in the holy place, and then we become the bride, which is the Holy of Holies. And all of that those are progressive steps which Yahweh has given to us through the symbolism of the contributions. Now, these contributions are made right at the beginning, and those things are required to build the tabernacle, which is the house of Yahweh, or the tent, or the dwelling that represents Yahweh's presence. It also represents Yahweh experiencing everything that Israel experienced as they traveled through the wilderness, and that's a picture of Mashiach, who came and he experienced everything that man experienced growing up from a baby, from a child, up to a mature state, a young man, where he sacrificed his life for us. And that's what we're going to touch on in this Torah portion is the veil, the concept of the veil, where we still need to enter from the holy place to the Holy of Holies. And the veil represents Mashiach, Yeshua. And that's revealed to us by the author of the book of Hebrews. His body is the veil, and his body was torn for us. So the symbolism of the veil being torn in two is the symbolism of his death. And his death gives us access to enter in as the bride. So Hebrews, author of Hebrews said, we have boldness to enter the presence of God, the Holy of Holies, because of the veil that's been torn. Does that mean that we have access now into the Holy of Holies? No, we still have access to the holy place. Our bodies limit us to enter into the Holy of Holies, because that's where you need the gold, the renewed body, that allow you to stand in the presence of Yahweh without being consumed. Remember, the menorah represents the flame. The flame means foundation, ash, that represents the essence of Yahweh as a consuming fire, which is a symbol of holiness. So our holiness allows us to enter into the Holy of Holies. And our bodies are not holy at this stage. We are in the process of becoming holy. We are the kingdom of priests. And we will only become the bride, or the fulfillment of the marriage covenant, which is to come during the second coming. That is where we will enter in through the veil that's already taken away. But for us now, the veil is still there, which is Yeshua and his spirit and the Torah. Now I'm going to elaborate a bit more on that this Sabbath, on what it means and the function of the veil, looking at numbers, looking at the meaning of the word veil and the root word of veil. I'm not going to elaborate on that now. I just want to give you a bit of a taste of what is to come. So it reveals a lot to us. And as I said, we still need to finish the tabernacle in another Torah portion next week, where we will end with the final stage of the tabernacle, which is the glory of Yahweh entering into the tabernacle. That's the final step of constructing the tabernacle. And the tabernacle does not have meaning unless the glory of Yahweh is there. We've got a shadow of that. Now the word shadow is also related to the word pattern. Pattern of the tabernacle, as described in the Brit Hadashah, is also the term shadow, which Paul uses. And that shadow doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's a pattern. When we study the tabernacle pattern like we did the last few Torah portions, we learned so much. But when people read the word shadow, they don't want to study the pattern. And then they're ignorant. They don't understand what it's all about. And Yahweh revealed to us a lot of things through these patterns or shadows. And we are supposed to study them, because we are in the realm of the physical, where the shadows are cast upon, through shining from the glory of God, through the real things that are beyond us, that are Holy of Holies level, which is the spiritual level. And it shines upon the physical, which is the holy place and the outer court. And if we enter the holy place, enter the outer court, we study the symbols, then we see what the real is beyond the veil, and what is beyond time, what's beyond our physical realm, what's beyond our limited bodies. And that's how we find out more about Yahweh, about his things, about his will, about our destiny, our purpose, and our mission, and the progressive steps where we are going to be elevated into. So I hope you have a lovely day. I'll speak to you soon. More on this topic in the coming Shabbat.